Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Anman, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Spence.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. And Mike is here.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Nick is going to be here shortly, hopefully. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype.
Yes, it is.
And this morning's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear.
And all that's true.
And we never tell lies here.
We don't tell them that often.
No. Mike, I said we never tell them.
Well, that's a lie.
Never. So what's going on?
I was talking to Gene the other day.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he was actually snorkeling out in front of his resort on Cayman while my ship that I was on was anchored offshore. So he was actually, we could have waved to each other.
What did you?
Out in front of his resort.
Uh-oh.
While my
Spence, something happened to your mic.
Me?
No, I'm hearing it.
My mic?
No, you're okay.
No. That was weird.
Yeah, it's Amnon.
I started hearing him like it was on the other side of the room.
I hear it.
Wow. Okay, go ahead. Maybe it's my ear.
That's probably right. You Live is not working.
You Live is not working. All right, keep talking.
And I click on channel 1 MX and it says this stream is for mature audiences only. And then, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So have you been following of course I was away, so I missed out on quite a bit of news and was catching up, but the whole Google purge thing that's going on with people losing.
You mean YouTube?
Well, YouTube and Google followers. There was a whole incident where some conservative commentators or posters lost half of their followers overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And with no explanation, just woke up the next morning, went there, and half of their followers were gone.
Now.
Yeah,
so Google is actually working. It's YouTube, Google, and they're working with, of all people, the Southern Poverty Law Center to judge whether content is offensive.
Well, they're also doing fact checking through Snopes.
It's something on my end because I can't hear you either. Mike.
We may not be. Are we going out over the air, guys? Anybody in chat hear us? Or is this an Amnon problem or what else?
Could. Okay. You're not talking, are you?
John says we can hear. He can hear us. Andrew Hollywood Zarian says yes, he can hear us.
Wow.
So it's an Amnon problem. Can you hear us, Amnon?
I can hear it very, very low. I mean, like, I can tell that you're talking. But it's not this. It's not the speaker.
Hello, I can sing.
And I can see me going out. I mean, do people say anything in the chat?
They say it's fine.
Yeah, they say they hear it okay.
Okay, so it's on my side.
It is.
They can hear you because I cannot hear you. So I'm trying to figure out where to look.
It's whatever you touched right before the problem occurred.
It's weird.
Oop.
That wasn't it.
I felt the shock here with that.
That's earth shattering.
Oh, well.
Go ahead with your story, Spence.
Oh, just that there has been a lot of, because of all the stories about meddling in elections and using social media and fake. There was one story I had heard before that when these campaigns go out to show on social media that there's some specific cause that is getting the attention of millions of followers on whether it's Facebook or YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook or Snapchat or Twitter, that it turns out, and I won't say who the broadcaster was, but he was getting slammed because they was trying to do some type of boycott against his sponsors. And he went out and studied it and found out it was all traced back to 10 people who had tools that would show and controlled hundreds of thousands of fake accounts that would all be, oh, this is outrageous, we should boycott this. And just, it was all just engineered and manipulated. And it's not really showing the true sentiment of what people were thinking.
Nope.
So this is very interesting. I've been following. Wasn't on Gab much. I don't use Twitter at all except to look at other people's posts. I don't actually log in. I don't ever want to again. But I've been on Gab, and I've been just paying attention to some of the people that I follow there, and I've been posting stories or links to news stories. But it's amazing. Gab is growing leaps and bounds now because of this.
They still can't get an iTunes store though. That's going to kill them.
Yeah.
They cannot survive without an iTunes app, and Apple is such a left-wing company, they're not letting them in because they're conservative.
Yep.
What we have done is we have lost the communications media. I mean, we could get into a very long political discussion on it. There's an awful lot going on here that's not being talked about that it would be. We probably got some leftists in the audience, and that's fine. We want them listening too. We're not really trying to make it into a political show. I mean, Andrew's a liberal, and
well, I want a level playing field. I'm not looking to get
that. But if we ask for level, then we're accused of trying to drag things over to the far right.
Yeah, true.
There's no justice. No, what is it? Sharpton says, no justice, no peace.
Yeah. Well, the danger there for both sides is that people don't realize. People are basically either numb, very angry, or just had enough, and it has created a situation, probably engineered to do that way, where conflict is what they're steering us towards, and it's a shame.
Sharpton is great. Did you see him on Boston Legal?
I probably did. I don't remember.
He was great.
I stood 2 feet away from Al Sharpton outside the courthouse in Dutchess County during the Tawana Brawley incident, because I worked right across the street from that, and there was a rally out front. This is when he was supposed to drop off Tawana Brawley to talk to the grand jury or something like that, and he was literally out there with his megaphone talking to the courthouse, and I literally stood behind him. And what a weird situation. I lived in the town where that whole incident happened. At the bus stop where she supposedly was dropped off or picked up or whatever was within walking distance of my house.
What year would that be?
Late 1980s.
Okay.
I moved away from there in 91. So him and C. Vernon Mason.
Don't know that name.
He was the lawyer for Tawana Brawley.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the media, and it's unfortunate.
I like Andrew's kind. Hillary should have won. She's really hot.
Yeah, he's. I thought he had cut back on his drinking, but here it is, 9:20 on Sunday morning.
Yeah. Oh,
Mike, guess what? Jess is pregnant again. There's a lag here, so.
well. I spent 8 days without use of a phone, a tablet, a computer, and I loved it. I had two days where I could get in touch with people.
You can do that here.
Well, I could, but I mean, this was where I had lots and lots of distractions to do other things, and just not sit around and think about what I wasn't connecting to. So I really enjoyed it, and since we've gotten back, it's just something came to the forefront. We got our new Spectrum cable bill. It's gone up $15.
Uh-huh.
And nothing's changed. And it was just they raised the rate on my bundle and they raised the rate on my digital adapters.
Well, but you should thank them.
Oh, I should, because they're serving my neighborhood with such great service. But the problem I have here is we cannot get a viable alternative in my neighborhood.
Move.
Yeah. Well, I have a wireless wireless bridge that will go up to 15 or 20 kilometers. I have it left over from a demo kit I used to have.
Don't talk to me in kilometers. How far is that distance?
Oh, it's far. I could actually, if we could get line of sight between our houses, Mike, then I could.
Yeah, Ubiquity.
Survive off your internet connection.
You're talking about the Ubiquity?
No. This is a direct panel-to-panel antenna, private. It uses wireless A, and it's this is not to a provider though. This is just between two sites.
Correct. That's what Ubiquity does. You can buy an antenna to go on each end, and all you do is put it up, get line of sight, point them at each other, and you can get like 20 megabit.
And that's what this is. I could get. I think the most we got out of it was about 35.
Right.
And
we're getting ready to put one on the radio station in Wilmington.
One of the guys that worked for me at the time, he took it out on a rural road with another guy, and they set it up. They both had inverters in their cars, and they started out at like a mile, and they went to 2 miles, and then to 4 miles, and to 6 miles, and they were still getting 15 meg. They couldn't see each other, yet the thing still worked.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a built-in signal strength positioning utility where you point it in the general direction of the other antenna, and it will beep so that you can position the antenna, and beeping will become faster and faster and faster as you sink in on it. The issue is that the power is such that you don't want to be standing in front of it. So it's got to be off the ground and, not. But wouldn't it be great if I could point it towards, of course, it's illegal to do that, to siphon off somebody else's internet connection, but
I don't know about all that.
We'd never do that.
I don't know.
Because I could get by with 15 or 20 meg.
What do you have now?
350.
Yeah. Is there a slower service?
Yeah, but it won't really save me any money.
Oh.
My daughter had the slowest Time Warner when she moved to her townhouse, and the bundle has since expired, and now she's paying for their basic service, which I think is $250 now.
$250?
250 meg.
Oh.
I thought there was something on the radio about their minimum service is 200, or it was 100. It was 25, and then it went up to 100, and so now it's whatever it is. She's paying over $50 a month just for the internet connection. And
Well,
it's
that
not
would be
it's,
okay. I mean, that $50 for internet I can handle. I'm paying 70 and getting what's advertised as 1 gig.
yeah, and you're
And
getting
strangely
what?
enough, for some reason, AT&T is in my neighborhood burying cables again.
I wish they'd come to my neighborhood and bury cables.
Why would they be reburying in my neighborhood when we have had fiber here since very early?
Problems with the fiber.
Knock on wood, they haven't been here. Maybe it's other houses, but maybe, of course, I'm not getting full speed. I don't get but like 600
Well, that could
normally.
be it. Fiber could be damaged.
Yeah,
The,
well, they don't care about that. They say as long as it gets to 600 once a year, they've met their commitment.
I have a customer who had Google Fiber and kept it for a month and dumped it.
I don't get it.
It just they said the service was terrible. It was they had voice too. The telephone calls were all choppy. Uh, just they actually went to AT&T Fiber, and that's working well for them now. But
That's sad.
so, is there any serious wireless internet provider in the area anymore?
Well, the only one I knew about was Clear. Are they still?
Yeah, I think they're dedicated now to serving rural.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about them. I got to tell you guys, it wouldn't take a lot for me to just tell them to come pick it all up.
Now, I'm preparing myself. I need to have a backup plan, but I thought about risking just taking all my equipment, putting in a shopping bag, and going down to the store and just saying, "Here you go. If you can't make me a better deal, it's yours." But I have to have a fallback plan.
Yeah,
So,
because half the time they'll say, okay.
and they have. We called when the first rate increase we got, which was only about 4 months ago. Called and said, "This is unacceptable." Well, you're getting great service. It's a great deal. So basically, shut up. We're not going to do anything for you. And that was the retention person.
Well, what does your next door neighbor have?
They actually have, they're back to Time Warner or Spectrum because they had AT&T Uverse. And the problem in my neighborhood is it's the twisted pair that's in the neighborhood is bad. And only certain people, only certain homes could actually get service from AT&T. And most people that had it when it first came through the neighborhood, when they made a big deal about it, have all switched back over to Spectrum because the AT&T service is so bad.
If I knew my next door neighbor and had a relationship with them, I would offer to split my service with them or split theirs with me. If they started jacking the price way out of sight, and at least we'd go to half price on the internet because there's plenty of bandwidth for both of us.
Oh yeah, there's no question. I think I'll run a coax under my street.
Well, next door neighbor,
Yeah, true.
you wouldn't have to go across the street.
And there are wireless bridges now, much
The ubiquity.
cheaper. But yeah, there's so many. But this thing when it was new that I have was probably $5,000 or $6,000.
Oh, these are three. Nick knows how much they are. We're getting ready to buy one. It's like $200 an end.
Yep.
Oh, they're even
Yeah,
cheaper than that.
Definitely.
How much are they? How much would it cost to go from one house to the next, Nick?
Let me do a quick search. I want to say less than $100 total.
And that's
Crazy.
Is it a beam antenna?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Either the rocket or the beam.
And then your neighbor could do it to the people on the other side and divide it by 3.
Let's see.
Hey, we should start our own. Go to the homeowners association. Said, let's have community internet.
Oh my gosh! Don't talk to me about homeowners associations.
No.
We're getting ready to have our annual meeting. I'm trying to decide whether to play nice or to tell them what I think.
Hey, here you go. Here's an example of one. This is a little overkill, but it's a Ubiquiti Nano Beam M5, which is doesn't say what. No, it's a 5 gigahertz system. It's $180 for 2 units.
Wow.
with the POI injector and the mounting thing and the radome and
What's the theoretical maximum speed?
let's take a look on the Nano Beam.
As I was saying before you came by, Nick, that I still have in my attic.
No, I've been here for like 25 minutes.
Oh,
listening to you.
okay, you have. Sorry.
Nobody introduced me, so
I'd love to put this thing to use. It's a carrier grade product. Fully weatherproof. There's got to be an application for it somewhere. Sell it to somebody who's got a farm.
Yeah, I mean, it's for stuff like this, it's fantastic. Let's see the Ubiquity plug and play wall mount. Okay, the NBM516 throughput is 150 plus megabits at 10 plus kilometers.
Wow.
Yep, 189 bucks for both of them on Amazon. Ready to go, pre-configured.
Oh, I've looked at this stuff. I'm recognizing this now. Yes.
Yeah, it's dirt cheap.
Yeah. Yes, amazing. They had one of the best low-cost mesh products out there.
Yep, they still do. When I was looking at the years ago, when I was looking at MeshNet, just kind of saying what the hell was going on, all of the networks, all of the equipment they recommended was the Ubiquity stuff because it's just so damn cheap.
They have voice over IP phones.
Yeah, I mean they sell everything. Mike's got a Ubiquity router, don't you, Mike?
Wireless access point.
Wireless access point, yeah.
Yeah, and the range on it is not really good. I can go into 4 rooms over and get a weak signal. I don't know if it's where it's mounted or what.
You may have to turn the power may not be set up to the highest on it.
Well, that's a good question.
That's the cool thing about those. I think Sean's got a Ubiquity router, and they're meant for tinkerers, so you can go in there and I think you can jack up the power and stuff like that.
You don't even know how to get to it.
I remember selling what they termed at the time air fiber.
Yes, yep, that's what we're going to be purchasing.
Not this product.
Okay.
This was I'll have to say it's 15 years ago.
Wow.
But it was the early carrier grade. How do you get, like, if you have two facilities and it's across a right of way that you can't cross, and you don't, and you want to own it yourself, you could do this fiber, and it was very expensive. But you're talking probably $150,000 to $200,000 to set this unit up. But it was just absolutely stable, killer application for joining two buildings together. The speed wasn't all that much, but it was like top of the line, secure, everything about it. And it would work through fog. I mean, it was just one of these amazing things. You had to get a site survey and a professional installation because it used lasers and it was not radio. So it was very, very, if you were off beam, you could actually wind up hurting somebody's eyes. But yeah, it was cool stuff.
Yeah, so they must have either purchased the name Air Fiber from whoever, or
I think there was maybe it was a generic term then, but it was that's what we used to call it. It wasn't there wasn't the brand name. It was just they called it because normally people would link buildings together with fiber. So this was the way. Yeah, it was.
Their air fiber units are going to be the ones that I believe we're going to be purchasing. And those things are nuts. Air fiber. They're well, actually, no, not the air fiber. The air fiber are the ones that are crazy expensive. They're about $1,000 a piece, which isn't, I say, crazy expensive in comparison to the other ones. But these ones will do 100 plus kilometers.
Wow, I look through this list of products here, and it just brings back all these memories of we were trialing and actually did install a wireless mesh product at the North Carolina Fairgrounds. And I was actually climbing on the top of the Dorton Arena. Walked up there, me and a couple guys that worked for me, and we were setting up a trial and putting this thing up on the roof. And they said, well, be careful you don't walk off to the center of the arena because that's all actually rubberized canvas. and you'll fall through the roof. Oh,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
You guys ever look at the people who have connected to your wireless routers, the home network device lists?
Yeah, people's weird device names.
Yeah, look, I'm looking at mine. Something's going on here. Some I've never heard of. Comp name.
Okay, that's default computer name.
Well, that's the name somebody typed their computer. I don't know who that is. Diagnosis SI phone. Diagnosis phone. Who is this one? Here's a scummy one. Nick's laptop.
Yeah, that's me.
Nick's iPhone.
That's my iPhone.
Nick laptop.
Well, that doesn't. I only have one laptop.
Nick's Apple Watch.
Oh, that's interesting. When it must connect through the phone. That's weird.
I don't know. Somebody's hacking my network.
It's the
Somebody named
Russians.
Nick's hacking my network.
Damn Soviets trying to.
Is Nick Russian?
Yeah, it is. Nick can be.
But I can't find the ubiquity.
Oh, because yeah, that may be. It may be an unidentified name.
I don't know how.
There are a couple of, I think I've mentioned these before. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me to say, but there are a couple of really nice Windows-based Wi-Fi scanning tools and survey tools out there. You do have to, the limitation is you have to have the appropriate Wi-Fi transceiver. So if you want to scan both the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz range and get a really good picture of the current technology, you've got to have an up-to-date card. If it's a laptop, then you can get I don't know if they still make PCMCIA stuff. I would guess they do.
Oh, I just found it.
But
I did a utility called Angry IP Scanner.
Yes, Spence told
great.
us about that.
Yep.
That has saved my ass 3 times in the past week.
Watch your mouth.
Sorry.
It's one of the best freebies out there.
Literally the coolest thing I've ever seen.
You got all this Cisco stuff on my network. What the heck is Cisco doing on my network?
That's your. Are they connected? That's Cisco makes all your Time Warner Spectrum TV stuff.
I don't have any Time Warner.
Your
stuff.
AT&T stuff might be Cisco.
Well, it sure doesn't work
well.
Yeah. SPVTG.
Yeah, your boxes are Cisco. I just looked at a picture of one online.
Roku. I've got 4 Rokus. Okay, so I got that. Show details.
Yeah, that Angry IP scanner is very, very cool.
The scanners that would work with iPhones, unfortunately, Apple made a change to their security policy. I don't remember what release of iOS it was, but I had a great scanner on there.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was they removed the ability to look at MAC addresses, which kind of was a waste of time. So they've actually been, the developers of the IP scanner that I have actually been putting together pleas to Apple to say, at least bring it back on a limited basis for technicians, because we use this. This is a common tool that is not considered to be an invasion of privacy. But they were like, oh no, we don't want to show MAC addresses. Well, guess what? Everybody else shows MAC addresses. So how are you saving the world by doing this?
Well, everybody else has headphone jacks on their phones as well, and Apple does. They don't care. They're completely, and they don't have to care because they own the market.
Yep.
They can do whatever they please.
Unifydiscover.ico, unify.ico. Ben, how do I get to this thing? Unify.exe.
I don't. You may have to use a crossover cable to get into it. I'm not sure if you can connect to it.
I'll be able to get to it on network error. Windows cannot access that. Well,
try doing HTTPS.
I think I tried that.
Sometimes
no, I know I accessed it when nope, it's not private. Advanced, proceed. No, that's not it. So anyway, I don't know.
Well,
I guess I can go back through the installation instructions because I know I logged into it when I put it in.
I've got something interesting
It's about
that happened to me earlier this week. So,
Was that the traffic stop, Nick?
yeah, I don't want to talk about that in the show,
Oh,
Spence.
okay.
I appreciate you not bringing that one up. So I was given the opportunity to go home for Easter for a couple days. So, of course, looking for airline tickets. American is the one that flies out of Wilmington. So I go online. Tickets are very inexpensive, less than $300 round trip, around Easter, which is
That's amazing.
mind-boggling to me.
Ooh.
So I kind of float around the idea, look at the price. It was like $287, I think, is what the round trip was before taxes and stuff. I came out to just shy $300. So this was a Wednesday or this Wednesday or Thursday. That's when it was. So I'm start looking in the morning. I think it was Thursday. Start looking in the morning. 289. Gets to the afternoon, and I finally say, okay, I'm going to finalize my plans, run it over with my boss. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Go to buy. Tickets are now $400, almost $450. So I'm thinking, okay, well, there goes my plans. I'm not spending $500 to fly home for 3 days. So in talking with my boss, he said, well, hey, yeah, disconnect from the Wi-Fi and connect to it on your phone. He said, they're looking at your cookies and they're jacking up the price for you. So disconnected from Wi-Fi on my cell phone, went to American Airlines website, put in my two dates, click search, and the ticket was $287. Same ticket, same price.
Nick, it's funny you say that. I was searching for airfares to get to Fort Lauderdale. And I had the same experience where the first time I looked, the tickets were $400 each. And I said, this is crazy. And I went to, and that was directly to JetBlue. I was looking all around trying to find direct flights. And then I went to, of all places, Orbitz. And it was half of what I could get on JetBlue's webpage. Because what Orbitz will do is they'll sell you 2 one-way tickets. And I don't know why that would make a difference, but I wound up saving half. I got it for 2 something each round trip instead of 4 something on JetBlue site.
That's why I hate the airlines. They're as bad as the cable companies.
They'll advertise and say, get the best prices by going to our website. That's what American always says, but
it's a lie.
It doesn't mean it's true.
I could not believe that they, based on cookies and cash, jacked up the ticket price by almost they almost doubled it.
Yeah, they can do that. I mean, do anything they want to, but it's nasty.
Well, I was very lucky. I had somebody there that said, "Hey, because I wouldn't have thought to disconnect my phone from Wi-Fi and try."
Well, you could have done the same thing by going to any other computer, not on that IP address or on that computer.
No, it was on that network. It was anything on that public IP address.
Yeah, right, with cookies on your computer too.
Yeah, so I don't know how they were managing to do that, but it was mind-boggling moment. So be aware, if you're searching for plane tickets, search on your computer at home and then disconnect your phone from Wi-Fi and do the same search, and you may save yourself a couple $100 by accident. I mean, and who knows how many times they serve you the high tickets the first time, and you have no clue. I mean, that's.
I'm cheap. I do many searches.
Yeah. But
what they do, that scheme that you're talking about, the purpose of that scheme is to get you to not search as much, to buy it the first time you see it.
Yeah, and I mean, I should say in their defense, they don't have any defense, but I did probably do that query 5 or 6 times throughout the day because I didn't buy the tickets till late afternoon on Thursday. So that I was searching literally all day for it. But yeah, that was my interesting experience of the week. If you're be aware that if you're buying plane tickets, just try it on your phone without Wi-Fi.
Everything's a scam.
Well, yeah, I was little disappointed.
Yeah. If you want to talk about scams, we can talk about HOAs.
Oh, I mean, that's a given.
So I'm actually studying the history of HOAs. It's really
HOAs are where trying to think of what the right word is, where failed managers go to die.
HOAs where failed managers go to die.
Yes, this is where people who have had their whole lives wanted to be in charge of something.
Oh, I thought that was
And-
churches.
But it was you get these people who are delusions of grandeur and power get into power to say, ha ha ha, now I'm in control.
Well, actually, something interesting is going on. I don't understand. It's getting harder and harder for people to get people to serve on the HOA.
Yes.
And I guess I don't understand that.
Well, it's hard to dedicate the time. I know some people who have done it. I've never done it, but I know people who have been either chairman or on the architectural committee or whatever. And you can't do it unless you're retired.
Yeah, well, it's a thankless position. I get that, but these people are controlling your lives.
Well, Scammer One says they're necessary. Yes, they are necessary, but some of the charters that they have.
Oh, I don't think they're necessary.
I think they are in some cases.
I don't.
I don't want to see cars up on blocks in my neighborhood because it's going to affect real estate.
Well, that's against the city ordinance. You can't do that. You can't have an unlicensed vehicle on your property in the city limits.
I've lived in places where people have painted their houses outrageous colors.
Well,
and done projects that are just, there was a place in New York, near a neighborhood near us, where they literally had, actually it was in our neighborhood on the way out. It was a fountain, a 3-tiered fountain with blue dolphins on the front lawn.
Sorry.
And
so
it
what
was
do you have against blue dolphin?
Yeah.
It was a fountain. It was like, this is insane. This just makes the neighborhood look so cheap. And it
By
was
whose standards?
my standards. Everybody was pissed off. The whole neighborhood is like, get rid of that thing.
Well, you burn his house down.
Well, that would have worked too. But this was a very conservative IBM Hudson Valley neighborhood.
You racist.
And a lot of people moving in and out. It was a completely integrated neighborhood. That's what was so cool about it, because there were every nationality from the world, because it was IBMers who moved there for their assignments. So you got people constantly coming and going who were concerned about housing prices and not getting, taking a bath on the house that they have to sell after 3 years. So, yeah, it was a shame. It was actually a very cool neighborhood because, for example, the guy who ran the little soccer league for kids, he was from Brazil. He was a soccer maniac, but he came from one of the IBM facilities in Brazil to do a 3-year assignment in Poughkeepsie. And we had literally people from all over the world. It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah, there's more to this story, I'll tell you.
Oh, I'm sure. I had my own fight with them. I had to actually.
Ours, I can't complain about ours. I think they're reasonable so far, and I don't object to it being reasonable. I just, when you realize the premise under which they're set up, it's just really bizarre. They were set up to keep black people out of white neighborhoods. That's where they were created.
I believe that.
That's undisputed. Even though Gary doesn't know that, but
it's absolute power corrupts absolutely.
All right.
So I downloaded Unify installer.exe. I clicked to run. Welcome to Unify setup. Do you want to upgrade your Unify from 529 to 5630? Yes. Which is interesting because I can't find it installed on my computer.
Sure, it's not the
Click aboard to stop. What in the heck is going on here?
Could it have been installed as part of another install?
No, I installed it, but the problem is I can't find it.
What the heck's going on here?
That's the Microsoft, what do you call it? Obfuscation algorithm.
I don't know what it is, but I need to close a bunch of crap here.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so this is
No, can't hear you at all.
oh. Mike, I think I narrowed it down to either the output from the mixer to the headphone amplifier, or the headphone amplifier is gone.
Well, fix it.
I had that issue a couple weeks ago. I had a bad cable from my headphone amp, and I believe the whole output sounded like that, but it turns out it was just the headphone amp.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I don't want to start disconnecting, but I think phone B goes to the headphone amp, and phone A was going to the headset that I had. So what I did is I plugged the little earbud into that output, and I can hear you fine. And I can. The weird thing is I can hear myself too, which I was not before. But anyway,
Buttons mean things, Amnon.
what buttons?
The ones that you press that you ought to leave alone.
No, I don't want to change things now, and I don't want to change. I mean, there is the audio is going to the Ninja, and it's going obviously to the other machine. So I'm not going to change. After the show, I'll do it. But that's the only thing I can come up with. I turned off the headphone amplifier is on, but it's not putting out any audio out of any of the 6 outlets.
Unify controller. Okay, that's good. Initializing. Allow access. Hope this isn't written by the Russians. Started. Launch a browser to manage the network. HTTPS localhost manage. Your connection is not private. Proceed. And there's Unify. Now what the heck is my login? Oh well, go ahead.
All right. I don't know what you covered and what you didn't cover.
Don't either.
We solved all of the world's problems, and we actually caught up to the next several years worth of problems. So we're all set.
You heard what Equifax said this week.
Oh yeah, 2.4 million more people.
Yep.
Well,
Oh, by the way,
Boy.
yes.
But
Hello?
I had a
Yeah.
thought the other day, just thinking that who knows if development tools for writing applications haven't already been hacked to the point where everything is accessible from everywhere all the time. You go to install what you think is a safe program, and there are rootkits and all kinds of stuff floating around in there that nobody knows about. That Spectrum and what is it? Spectre and what's the other one? I can't remember the 2 CPU.
blow up.
Yeah, but you think
I
about
get
it,
you,
it's like that's just the stuff we know about. What else is out there that people are keeping quiet?
Oh my God.
What does the NSA have? Yeah,
Oh.
we learned a lot about what they do, but the stuff that we learned about can't be the only stuff that they have.
No.
So,
how many people among you have a KVM switch?
I used to have them. I don't have them any now.
I have 2.
I do need a DVI switch though.
Well, apparently, Microsoft has a utility that now they made free. Mouse Without Borders is an
They've had that.
The what?
That's been around a while.
Yeah, but apparently they're making it free now, and it's part of Windows 10. They let a mouse and keyboard hop from one Windows device to the next, but it only works among Windows devices.
And how do you front end to this? you got to have
I haven't
wireless,
tried it.
Wi-Fi.
I haven't
No.
tried it, but you can download it. It's called Mouse Without Borders.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
It unlocks a versatility similar to that of Logitech Flow, but it's free when Logitech costs money. So it's a utility that you load apparently, and you go from one machine to the other.
It works. Nick had me using one. I forget the name of it. He'll remember the name of it. But
What did I have you using?
you ought to pay attention.
I
The
just got up
utili-
to get coffee. I wasn't paying
something
attention.
utility
That's
for
no excuse. It's this mouse utility that allows you to jump between computers on the same LAN.
Input Director is the
Input
Windows version. Synergy is the Linux version. Unfortunately, Synergy has gone to some crazy, weird pay per computer BS model. So don't
Really?
use them. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So Input Director or I don't know what there's got to be an open source alternative.
There is a Microsoft one. I mean, if you haven't listened to what I was saying, it's called Mouse Without Borders from Microsoft. It's free, and it allows you to use a mouse and a keyboard.
Yeah, it uses
But only
uses Windows net. Sorry,
Go ahead.
it uses Windows networking essentially to talk between machines, and you have the keyboard is then shared.
Yeah,
one
that's what
machine
Input
has a
Director does.
physical connection, the other ones can share it.
Yeah. There's a whole. That's so stupid. Why would they waste their time with that? There's already alternative. It's a stupid thing to have.
They've been working on it for 3 years, Nick. Come on, they finally got it out the door.
Finally. I mean, some open source community will whip it together in three days, but it'll take Microsoft 3 years to come up with some inferior product. What a deal.
I want to tell you a quick story, but just to point out, I almost lost my job over this. I was working on I was hired to go back to an unnamed large networking producer and help buy a product to fill the gap in their product line. So we're going through, me and a bunch of other people were reviewing small companies that had new products to try to come out. So they decided internally that no, we're going to do it ourselves. This is a big, slow, clunky company. So we went to this meeting, and they had a research fellow from one of the big think tanks in the company say, we're going to build it ourselves. And they presented it. And I said, you do realize that the products out there today, you're saying this will be 18 months from now. Products that are out there today are faster than the one you're proposing. Oh, well. And I said, well, why would people buy it? Well, because it's us. And I literally got up and walked out of the meeting, and the guy's AA, administrative assistant, ran down the hall after me. You can't walk out on this guy. I said, I just did. He said, you're out of your mind. This will never fly. You're going to lose money. You need to leapfrog in order to make advances. You can't just be a Me Too that's actually slower. And it was a switch that had where you could plug in different modules to it. And the backplane, you would have a module that would have, say, 10 gigabit ports on it, but the backplane was only 800 megabits. So everything was going to be going through what they call a blocking switch. It was insane. And this is what companies do.
It's a shame that you couldn't challenge them either without them getting hostile.
Oh no, I wound up leaving because I realized that it was like, get me out of here.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
Yeah. And that's why the division was eventually sold, because it just wasn't making any money.
You actually work for a company that had no name?
I don't want to get in trouble.
That's bizarre. How did you cash your paychecks? They didn't have a name on it.
It was interesting. The money would just show up in an envelope in my mailbox.
Manila envelope.
That's it.
You know, I just found something that's kind of disturbing. I am part of the reason why cell phone sales are slumping.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It says that the smartphone industry has a culprit to blame for slumping sales.
It's Amnon.
Its old devices remain too popular. It says flashy phones of yesteryear, particularly Apple iPhones and Samsung Galaxy S handsets,
They fixed that.
are getting refurbished, and U.S. consumers are snapping them up. Many
No.
shoppers are balking at price tags for new phones pushing $1,000. An improvement on latest launches in many cases haven't impressed anybody. And as more people hold on to devices longer, new smartphone shipments plunge to a historic
But
lows.
I mean, Apple handled that because they've
So-
killed the battery lives on the old phones.
Yeah.
I mean, literally now, if I go to my ground school class down in Sanford, if I don't have a charger, I will not have a phone on the road getting home from Sanford at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Wow.
Everybody called me crazy.
You are crazy. What's the point?
Everybody called me crazy.
You are crazy.
Yeah. No, but I mean, realistically, that whole article summarizes it. Yeah, it's because the new phones are too damn expensive.
I didn't think people cared what Apple phones cost.
Oh, I mean, unfortunately, you don't have a choice.
Seriously, what are you going to do?
I mean, it really is a shame. What are you going to do? Buy the expensive iOS phone that works, or the expensive Android phone that works sometimes too. You're screwed.
Alan said iPhone 4 still works. It does, and my phone works too, as long as you plug it in all the time.
Well, I mean, there's solutions for that. You got a Mophie case or something like that.
Carry a car battery.
No, I mean, they do make those nice Mophie
Yeah.
cases. Those will work.
I don't understand all these settings in this Ubiquity. I turned it on high power. I don't know. The wall's melting. Is that normal?
Yeah. I believe that's that's in the product description in the PDF.
Okay.
Sean's played around with them. You may want to ask him.
Can't get up with Sean lately.
Oh, well,
Hey, Spence,
Yes.
are you ready to do the specials for
It's
today?
10 o'clock already?
Yep.
Grief.
Time flies
I
when
will
you're
do
having
it.
fun, Mike.
I will do it if you can.
Tim, audio is not important.
If I can.
If you can secure for me I want representation for each of these three companies now. I need a stipend to keep doing it. Because
Okay, do this
I go in the
first.
store and I say, I'm here. And they're like, who are you? I said, I'm the guy that recommends all your stuff every week. What? And it just doesn't do me any good. I want a discount.
Well, see, what we haven't let Amnon in as is that we've unionized as co-hosts of the program. And
Well,
I mean, it's going to be real unfortunate for him, but hopefully we'll get what we want.
I like keeping the anonymity and the no connection to these outfits because it makes it easy to criticize them. So,
All right.
and this week, my criticism of Best Buy is that they ain't nothing special on sale. It just is not anything fabulous. So I was kind of disappointed that most of the stuff that they have is not on sale. It's regular prices in their sale ad. So, oh well.
So what is that multi?
What is what?
You have at the top, you have take.
Oh, take the multi and run. It's an NEC multi. It was a one of the early laptops.
Yeah.
That had multi-speed. You could step the processor.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
That's what the 8080.
Yeah. So it was no big deal. It was just they say, oh, this is so fast because you can basically have it in normal mode or put it into turbo mode.
Mm-hmm.
And, like back then, who cares? Now.
No, back then we cared a lot.
Oh, I remember the first laptop I got for work. It was one of those funky, weird screen. It wasn't really a TFT screen. It was that weird kind of gray, shadowy thing where you drag the mouse around and be a ghost behind it. And that had, I remember upgrading that from a 700 something meg drive to 1.1 gig. And how I was like, this is incredible.
It was.
Oh, it was. And I needed it because I had so many PowerPoint presentations on my machine.
You don't remember all the old tower cases always and the desktop cases had two buttons, not just off on, but turbo and non-turbo.
Yes, yeah. So this was a portable computer that had a turbo mode.
Yeah. All right.
But why didn't they just leave it in turbo mode?
I know, that's what
I think it might have been a heat issue. because you run it in turbo and
Yeah.
it would get.
We always ended up. It's always worked in turbo anyway.
Yeah, whatever. So I mean, I don't overclock now. I don't need to. My limitation is not my CPU. It's cranking along here at 14%. It's my GPU. And I'm just not willing to spend the bucks now you need to spend because of the price of new graphics cards to upgrade it. So I'm happy with what's happening. I'm not limited in any way.
Yep.
So, but I'm looking at the GPU usage in XSplit, and I'm sitting at like 75%. So, okay. So
right.
Specials for March 4th, 2018. And we're going to start with, as usual, those folks over at Best Buy. Laptops, they've got and Nick, who would have thought that a Chromebook would go for $900? So Chromebook, Pixel 12.3-inch touchscreen Chromebook, $899 with $100 off. That's an i5. Office Depot Office Max has an HP 17.3-inch laptop with a Core i3 for $399. That's $200 off. And Staples has a Lenovo IdeaPad 320S with a Core i5 for $499, and that's $220 off. Try to find the best discount for some of these things. Desktops, we've got at Best Buy an AMD A12 from Lenovo Idea Center for $529. That's expensive. That is not a sale price. That is definitely at full price for this tower. Lenovo Idea Center at Office Depot with an A12 for $399. So you can get it for $200 less. And then a desktop PC Intel Core i5 Dell at Staples for $459, I should say, which is $120 off. Hard pressed to find a tablet at Best Buy on sale, but they do have a good deal on a Kindle Paperwhite. It's not a tablet, it's a reader. But if you haven't upgraded your Kindle in a while, it is really a nice experience.
Did you say Kindle Paperwhite?
Paperboy? What?
Paperwhite?
Paperwhite. Yeah, Kindle Paperwhite. That's good. Paperwhite.
Okay.
Right. $119. I actually have two Kindles. I have an original old Kindle keyboard, which I still use and still works. And I also have a not a Paperwhite. It's the cheaper one from the Paperwhite, but with a touchscreen. Mm-hmm. That's it at Best Buy. Office Depot has the Android 7.0 New Vision tablet for $59.99, 20 off. And Staples has an iPad 9.7-inch 32 gig tablet for $299, which is $30 off. Networking. Best Buy has Linksys MaxStream AC 1750 router for $129. Office Depot has a Netgear AC 1750 dual band router for $109, which is 20 off. And Staples has a small sale on the Google Wi-Fi AC 1200 whole house system. You can either buy one, which will work nice in and of itself, but the point of this is you can build a mesh, which is nice. But you can buy one for $124, which is 5 off, or a set of 3 for $279, which is $20 off. So definitely cheaper to buy 3 of them and create your mesh. Storage. We've got a good deal at Best Buy. This is a 4 terabyte USB 3.0 portable drive for $119. That's $80 off the regular price. Office Depot has a Western Digital Cloud drive for $179, 4 gig. That is a good price. That's $20 off the regular price. If you're not familiar with Western Digital Cloud drives, they are a very easy way to have local cloud storage. It does support remote access, so you can come into it from outside. And what I like about this is, and most routers have this today, wireless routers, is there are 2 USB ports that you can plug in there, which will allow those whether it's a hard drive or a flash drive, to appear as another network drive. and you can use it for backup. So you can back up to this internal drive inside the hardware itself using the software, or you can back up to one of the other drives connected either through this Windows sharing interface or to any other shared drive on your network, which is very flexible. I have this running on several machines in the background all the time doing backups. So very happy with it. It's worked very well so far. And mine's an older one too. It's got to be 3 years old. Finally, Staples has a Lexar USB 3.0 32 gig drive, flash drive for $16.99, which is $23 off the regular price. Okay, Best Buy has a Logitech K300 wireless keyboard. This is the one that will switch between multiple Bluetooth devices. $27.99, $12 off. Office Depot has an APC 900 VA battery backup unit for $79.99. That's $20 off the regular price. Staples has the Apple TV 4K 32 gig streaming device for $169, which is $10 off the regular price. Monitors, again, nothing special at Best Buy this week, but they do have an AOC 21.5-inch monitor for $129. You can do a lot better than this. You can get at Office Depot, you can get a Dell gaming monitor for $119, 24-inch, so $30 off. That's a good deal. And Staples has a Samsung 24-inch monitor for $119, $60 off. Printers and scanners. We've got a Epson Workforce Pro WF4730 wireless all-in-one printer for $129.99, $70 off at Best Buy. Office Max Brother MFC L2710 DW compact wireless all-in-one. This is a printer, scanner, fax, copier. This is the ones I always like. It's a little bit more expensive than the simple single-use ones, but $149, say $50. Very versatile, great for if you need to scan in documents that you want to use the sheet feeder for. It makes it so much easier. And Staples has the Epson Workforce WF100 wireless wireless printer for $199, save $100. Good if it's expensive, but if you have an application that requires it, it's a great printer. Home automation and security. We have this is for you, Amnon. This is a Whistle GPS pet tracker and activity monitor. So now you can keep track of your. It would work if you attached it to a child, right?
It
so
should.
For $79 for a tracker activity monitor, it's just who you're attaching it to, right?
And it's GPS.
79, yeah, with a GPS built in. This is great if your dog jumps the fence. You can find them. Yeah, so I've been through that before where the dog takes off in the neighborhood. So that's at Best Buy. And this is not this is off of their webpage. It's not off their sale. There's a new product that showed up at $49. It's called the wireless Philips wireless switch. And the interesting part about this is it does not require a battery. It uses the kinetic energy of pressing the button to send a signal to the U bridge. And what it does is it has 3 presets. So if you have a U system set up with the bridge and you've got lights programmed, instead of going through Alexa, going through whatever you use to manage the system, if you want to have a very simple control, if you've got somebody who's just not able to understand it, or you want to have it in a room where all you want to do is have 3 presets. You can use this, stick it on the wall, and it will work. So, but it does require the U bridge, $49. And this is an interesting. I just stumbled across this at Staples. This again is not on their regular sale list, but this is a Logitech C922 Pro Stream webcam. Comes with its own tripod, which whatever, but it's $99. What I like about it is it actually comes with an application called Personify, which is a Chromecast application for free, and it allows you to wipe out the background. You could use a green screen in the background, and this is useful. It kind of does what XSplit would do, but on a simpler basis. And it's really designed for gamers, but will work in any chroma situation. So I thought that was interesting for $99, a little bit more than the best camera would be. But they call this the Pro Stream. So, and finally, some of the interesting stuff we find at Fry's. They've got for $30 a 450 VA cyber power battery backup. If you don't have one of these on your whatever is your internet service provider, terminal adapter for your phone system or whatever, if you don't have that protected by a battery backup system, or if you like, I have my Western Digital cloud drive connected to my battery backup just to protect my integrity of the data there. You should get one of these for $30. Geez, it's a good deal.
And unless they change their policy, CyberPower is lifetime warranty.
They've changed it. They have.
Oh,
it's no longer. It's like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Used to be lifetime. I know. I looked at that myself recently. Here's an interesting device, and you've seen these around, but if you have a bunch of negatives and slides and things laying around that you just say, I really want to digitize this stuff. This is a 8-in-1 film to digital converter, Wolverine it's called. Works with Mac and PC, $129, it's $10 off the regular price. Not the easiest things to use, but if you have some stuff you really want to save, it's going to be tedious to do.
And it's very expensive.
Out there you can send this stuff to, and they'll do it for you and send it back to you. But
it's expensive.
Yeah, this with a promo code from Fry's, you can get this for $99. So it's 10 off instant savings.
I mean, to send slides or film out to have it done is expensive.
It's expensive. Yes, it is. If you've wanted to send Bluetooth, or if you've got a mini plug input to a device, it's not Bluetooth enabled, you can do it. There's all kinds of adapters out there. This one lets you send to a non-Bluetooth device. It allows you to connect it using Bluetooth. It's normally $25 for 20. And I have one of these that's actually can be used in either direction. It can be either the receiver or the transmitter, which is nice. So I have it hooked up to a television where it actually is the Bluetooth transmitter. And then I can attach a Bluetooth headset to it. But this one, I believe, is only one directional. And also, if this cable that is shown here from PNY, 2-in-1 charge cable, is just really convenient because it's got both the Lightning connector and a micro USB connector on the same cable. I have a couple of these. I keep them in the cars mainly because I don't know what I'm going to be plugging in to charge. And it's just, instead of having two cables, you have one cable. And this is a great price, $599. And it's normally only $845.
And you actually tried it with an iPhone and it worked.
Yeah, it works for both. Yep. It does work for both. Convenient. And then here, these are for you, Amnon. These are 1080p HD video recording sunglasses. Takes both 16 megapixel still pictures and HD video recording. And not only that, but it's also polarized. So here you go. You can be stealthily walking around with these sunglasses on, doing your hidden camera exposés. So it's $84, but $69.99 with a promo code. So, and finally, I saw this and I'm like, what good is this? This is a mount for a GoPro style camera. It doesn't matter whether it's a GoPro or a knockoff, but it is a screw top that goes on a plastic water bottle and holds the camera. What would you use? The only thing I could think of is you would like half fill it with water and let it bob, like stick it in water.
In the water,
yeah. No. If you tube and stuff like that, this is exactly what you'd want to hold your GoPro. This would keep it above the water.
I realize, but but what a wacky thing.
Yeah. Those
I wouldn't want to lose control of it though. If you're out tubing or rafting or something like that, and it just goes off on its own.
Nah,
You can't control where it's pointing.
No, yeah, that's cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, interesting though. I mean, I like to find weird stuff out there. So, all right. Well, that's it for the specials, March 4th, 2018.
Maybe
March,
maybe
I
it
can't
was
believe it.
to film it when what is it? What do you throw in soda that it blows up?
Carbonation.
Oh, you
baking
mean
with baking soda
Diet Coke?
or
No,
Mentos?
there were those candies, whatever.
Mentos.
Yeah, Mentos.
Yeah.
So you want to launch your camera into space? Is that it?
That's not gonna work out.
You want to find a use for it. Oh boy. Thanks, Spence.
You're welcome.
919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Did you hear that YouTube channels recently kind of right-wing were pulled down by mistake?
Yeah, we were talking about it when you were off in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so never
The
mind.
purge, they're calling it. Yeah.
Well, it turns out Alex Jones's channel is being deleted from YouTube today. So all his 2.8 million subscribers and all, so he's got 33,000 videos on his channel. Those will all be erased today.
Lawsuit.
He's not gonna. He has no grounds for it. No, not a chance in hell he's gonna be able to sue them.
Is
Not
it
a
in the
chance.
terms and conditions that they can just cancel somebody for no reason?
It's a private company. They can do whatever they want to
They
do.
got their behind so covered. They could do whatever they damn well please.
Yeah.
The good news is nobody will miss Alex Jones.
That's not true at all.
Oh, he actually has a guy on his staff. I don't look at stuff that he does, but he has a guy on his staff that puts some good stuff out there. So
Who's
it's probably
that?
going to be gone now.
Who?
I can't remember his name. Young
David.
guy, young British guy.
Paul Joseph Watson, you mean?
Yeah. He does some good stuff. And
Nick,
it's not way out. He's not way out there kooky conspiracy theory stuff. So.
Nick, put your hat on.
Across the room.
Oh.
I bet a whole bunch of the QAnon stuff is going to drop off there too.
They're actually looking for an alternate place to locate, and all they need is a IceCast 2 server.
Who?
QAnon.
An IceCast server.
That keeps changing. It's interesting. They keep moving the pages around.
They're playing with fire because
good thing nobody watches them, so we're good.
Yeah, well, they don't. That's Alex Jones. The point being that they're going to eventually piss off the wrong people. Somebody's going to create an alternative platform that eventually will become successful. I mean, you think about that. People say, "Oh, yeah, that's what you always say." But look, Nick's not old enough; he doesn't know. But back whenever Netscape came out, people were all up in arms because Netscape had a monopoly on web browsers. It wasn't fair. They were controlling the internet. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Now look at them.
Yep. The key is not to create another service. See, I think you're coming at it the wrong way, and this is the problem.
I'm not coming at it either way, but I'd be interested to hear what you're.
I think the problem is all of these services end up being the same thing. If you're a conservative-leaning service like something like Gab, you're going to get blackballed, so you're wasting your time. They are never going to be able to expand because they are blackballed by Apple and Android. I don't care what you say. You can say, "Oh, well, your iStill smart." It doesn't matter. If they don't have an iOS or an Android app, nobody's going to use their service.
Well, Gab now has an Android app.
Oh yeah,
they do not. They've got an Android. Well, they've got an Android app that you have to install the APK. It's not on the store.
Yeah.
So I mean, there goes half your user base that can't figure out how to install the app anyway. So without an app, they've got no chance. So it's because they've placed themselves as a conservative-leaning service. So the way to do it is like what Alex is going to end up doing, which is roll your own CDN, roll your own video solution, and then you can control the message and do whatever the hell you want.
Right.
You know, it's possible though that just adds to their credibility for their audience is the fact that they say, "Look, we would love to have an app, but we can't because we're being shunned by these other services." So.
Well, the problem is
I use Gab, but only on my browser. So
It's just so hard to use. I can't get myself to use it because I social media on my phone. I don't do excuse me. I don't do social media on my PC a whole lot. I do it on my phone, and it's impossible to get in the habit of using it on my phone.
Yeah, their weekly. No, well, I don't know about weekly, but their latest email saying that they had the biggest growth last week because of all that stuff.
Gab did.
Yeah.
And apparently they're raising a bunch of money to.
They are.
So they have people around there that are doing.
But you may not believe it, and it'll take a long, long time. But the price for ignoring what's going on is very, very high for families. So what that means is that right now, while Google and Apple have a stranglehold on conservatism being able to expand, you can't keep it down. I mean, there are countries that go into revolution over these kinds of things. So while they're controlling it now, I'm just telling you that unless history does not repeat itself, they will not be able to suppress it forever.
And that's why it's so concerning with Alex being banned from YouTube. Is you can like him or hate him, but you're talking about a major voice on one of the sides being wiped off the platform. I mean, you can say, "Oh, nobody watches him." You go to his channel; he's got 1.5 billion views on his videos.
All right. So what about Bill Maher? Did they take him off?
Oh, no.
Bill Maher is still doing great with his HBO. But that's my point here is that, I mean, you could scroll through his YouTube channel. All of his videos have anywhere between 20 and every video he uploads has somewhere between 20 and 60,000 views. That's a huge audience that, for all intents and purposes, it could just disappear.
I wonder what happened with PragerU. I know they sued somebody over their YouTube presence.
Yeah, it was YouTube.
And they won. They got restored. So I don't know that sets a legal precedent or anything like that, but I remember they had a problem. They were being classified, and they were being threatened, and some of their content was removed, and if nobody knows about PragerU, it's a YouTube channel run by Dennis Prager that's got some really good 5-minute videos on different subjects that's very interesting.
We have a caller, and I just wanted to say to the callers that when you call in, it will be answered, but don't expect to be online right away. But you do need there they go, they hung up. You need to turn down your speaker from the web. So if you wanted to call in and you thought that you were not acknowledged, it's because there's a conversation going on, and we can't just stop in the middle. But you can tell when you're answered. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Spence.
Go ahead. I'm done.
So this week, starting Thursday, last week, Slashdot, where I get most of the stories, went down. They said that they were under DDoS and that they were having a problem with this and that. They did come back this morning. I see them back up.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah. Oh, so I went looking for other sources. So the first thing that you stumble on, or that I have in my bookmark, is Reddit. And I haven't been there in a long time. And I went there to technology. And what technology? It's all liberal talk about Trump this, and Trump did that, and net neutrality is this, and net neutrality is that. And I'm saying, what in the world? I mean, this is supposed to be just technology. Stay out of this. I mean, I couldn't. There was just, I actually took it out of my bookmarks because it's ridiculous to think that there is such a thing that they pretend to be a place for people to talk technology, and it's not. I mean, every now and then something there, it's okay, but to turn it all, I mean, I said, oh, you need to rename it to net neutrality thing. And talking about net neutrality, apparently there are some states that are trying to pass their own, and Washington already apparently is on the way to have the government, Washington State, to pass it. And I'm saying to myself, you know, it is going to be really interesting. I mean, if I was, let's say, if I was AT&T making decisions there, and a state decides, you know what, we're going to enforce net neutrality, no matter what it is. It's something that you're not supposed to do according to federal law, just like sanctuary cities. I would say, you know what? Okay. In 3 months, we're not going to sell any broadband anymore. We're not in the broadband business. We're going to stop all broadband, all DSL, all gigabit, everything. How soon after something like this do you think the people are going to revolt and say, hey, what are you politicians doing? Now we have to pay more because XYZ has monopoly and they're raising the price. Or if AT&T and the other ones decide, oh, okay, you're forcing net neutrality, which is going to cause us to do, I don't know what, I don't think anything. The prices are going up.
But don't you understand net neutrality is going to destroy the internet? Clearly, you must have not read those threads.
Yeah, that's right.
Good enough, because that's going to destroy the internet.
Yep.
You're in denial.
So it is absolutely ridiculous that these people are pushing it so hard.
Well,
I saw one thing on Reddit before I let you. It says, "Say goodnight to net neutrality." Somebody was saying there on Reddit. It's like,
this is what these tech people don't understand is people don't want politics in their tech news. I mean, I remember I was made a huge deal about this around the election. If you went to CNET or Gizmodo or Kotaku or anybody before the 2016 election, half of the articles on the front page were political articles on CNET. I mean, CNET, for Christ's sake, CNET, not CNN, not Fox, CNET. You would see articles about Trump this, Trump that, destroy this, destroy. It was ridiculous, and they're still doing it. There's no tech news on CNET anymore. It's paid phone reviews and political conversation.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talk politics here every now, but it's just a little here and a little there, and it's fine. It's like salt and pepper. Well, and it gives it more flavor, you know.
Yeah, but you know what you're getting when you come here. And CNET poses themselves as the bastion of tech news on the internet. I mean, CNET was the thing where you went to get news. They were
the key word.
Yeah, it was. And then the election came around. It was before the election, but the election came around, and the entire homepage is paid for phone and computer reviews and stuff about how Trump's going to destroy your life.
Trump derangement syndrome is a serious affliction. It has no cure. All you have to do is make the people afflicted with it comfortable, and over time they will disappear.
But it's a real shame. It's like, where do you go to just get regular tech news?
You can't.
It's a shame.
The IAIB.
I was trying to find tech news sites, and everything had it didn't give me a chance to even find any good articles because it was more political and left leaning than tech. And I'm saying, what is going on here? I even search for right wing tech sites. There's nothing. Non-political tech sites, tech news, nothing. It's the same sites over and over.
The culture does not allow you to advance. Silicon Valley culture does not allow you to advance unless you either keep your political leanings completely quiet, or you sign up for the overwhelming majority of what people believe out there.
The Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid. Exactly.
You can't make it. There's no way. It's not.
Well, that's interesting though, because we got an article this week from Brian where he said that a lot of people are moving into Boise, Idaho to get away from Silicon Valley.
Well, great. That's yeah. And they have to. But the shame is they have to move.
Destroying Boise.
Oh no, not Boise, the greatest place on earth. So I just did that search that Amnon talked about. I searched right-wing tech websites. The first site is a Gateway Pundit article that's irrelevant. The second one is another article that's irrelevant. The third one is a CNET post that says best political websites. The fourth one is a Gizmodo post talking about political websites. This isn't even tech. It's just the CNET article is
control the web, the search engines.
The CNET one is best political sites, liberal, conservative, and nonpartisan.
Yeah,
nothing to do with technology, and that's the third search result on Bing.
I mean,
that's just nuts.
I mean, on
Breitbart does have a tech page.
Yeah, but it sucks. It's not good.
It's not a lot to it. You're right. There's not a lot to
it.
The thing is, it tends to be just ordinary tech stories. It's nothing.
Well, it's big stories too, like this, like CNN pulling their ads off of,
right?
So and so alt-right new YouTube channels and stuff. It's not like actual tech news.
And the thing that I was trying to find, and there's so much in technology on Slashdot, which is also kind of left leaning, but you can find good stories, and there's no reason to bring to the show doom and gloom, which the other ones, that's what they do. I want to find positive stuff. I want to find good stuff.
That's not what journalism students go to school for.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I don't remember. It was an actual quote of where they were interviewing a news person. This is years ago, and they said, telling, "Oh, so what makes you successful in your business?" This is, there's two stories out there. One is about the guy finds his cat after all these years, and isn't it great? And here's the one about the guy who was decapitated by a driver driving by and left the scene. Which one are they going to cover?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. They're going to cover the one that got the most blood in it. It's just the way it is. There's no objective. There's nothing objective about that journalism.
So did you guys hear that Amazon just purchased another company?
No, when they purchased.
They purchased Disney?
Ring.
Oh,
Ring? They bought Ring?
Yeah,
yep.
I did see that. Screwed.
In December, they bought Blink, presumably to bolster its Amazon Key in-home delivery service. Now, Bezos and company have scooped up one of the industry's premier providers in Ring. So they bought Ring last week. That is, I mean, it's bringing all these companies. I mean, I'm sure these companies came up and set up themselves with the thought of, oh, you know what? We're going to get bought by XYZ and we're going to make money. And they did.
Well, I mean, there's a good movie. I don't remember what it's called. It's about startups, and they say, and I believe it's true, that these these companies are starting up not to make money, to get purchased by Google or Microsoft or whoever, by Amazon, whoever. Yeah, and it makes sense.
It
Get
does.
acquired for $50 million and call it a day.
And it works for them too.
Yeah, I mean, crap, I'd do it.
Yep. All right, let's see who we have online.
It's Gene.
Hey, Gene. What's up?
I'm calling in to fill you in on what happened with you. Remember I said I might go wireless
Yes.
with DirecTV?
Can you turn him up, Amnon? I
Yeah.
can't hear him.
Okay. Go ahead.
Are we okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, after looking into it, and the guy showed up, since then, I think you and Mike said this, so you were right. One is he said, when you go wireless, there is a potential for connectivity problems. And he says, you look like you're all wired good. So I'm not too sure you should do that. And he said, but you're available, or able rather, eligible, I should say, to get an upgrade to all your receivers, and we can put in the Genie system. So they put in a Genie 2 and then run mini Genies all over, and upgrade the system to the new software and everything. So I get the features of that Genie 2. It doesn't connect to everything. It's just basically it's a server, and it has like up to 7 HD simultaneously streams, 2 terabytes of storage, 450 hours of HD content. It doesn't connect to anything. You don't connect it to a TV, but it basically it runs all the mini Genies that are set up, so you can put them anywhere in the house, and you can run from your already connected wires. So I got all this upgrading done at really no charge, because I was eligible for an upgrade. So I had them do all that.
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't believe that they would rather install wires and give you all new adapters instead of fixing the problem that you had a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, and the problem I had is I had a couple of very old receivers. I mean, I had one receiver that didn't even run HD, and it was still on a big old cathode ray tube TV. And so now that's all been upgraded to these little mini Genies running off this Genie 2, and there's a lot more function. It's faster. The remotes are really nice. You don't have to point the remote at anything. So that's working pretty good.
Yep.
So Mike was right. If he was still on there, the guy did say, yeah, if you go wireless, you do have the exposure to connectivity problems. So he did say that.
Yeah, well, of course.
All right. So that's it. Just wanted to
Well,
fill
we'll
you
be
in.
interested in seeing how it works for you long term.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm real happy with the way the remotes are and the content, the functionality, and it's really user friendly, and there's a lot more you can do. So yeah, so far so good. I mean, it's only been a couple of 3 days, but
Right.
we're getting
it's a
everything
long
set
term
up.
how it works out. I know that these remotes on Roku are without doubt the top drawer. I mean, it's as good as you get. These things they were started out being Bluetooth. Then I think they became Wi-Fi, Ethernet, or what. I'm not sure how they connect, but they're amazing.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, then after all the work was done, guess what? AT&T guy shows up, Spectrum guy, and of course he wants to know what kind of internet you got, and what about your telephone? I'm using, my phone is Verizon wireless, and my internet service is still if Spencer's on, I'm still getting Earthlink through Time Warner. Real good service at a pretty cheap price.
I just dropped my Earthlink email after all these years, and they were begging me to stay with them. I'll give you 2 months free. I'll give you 3 months free. It's like, no,
that's exactly what they did with me. Yeah. I mean, still only paying $49 for the top service. But anyway, what he was trying to do is push the bundle. And, he didn't go for it, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I just thought I'd fill you in on what happened.
All right, Gene. Thanks, man.
Okay, good. There's just one other thing that happened to me, and might want to discuss this sometime, is people are having a lot of trouble with Windows 10 updates. I just went through with one machine a Windows 10 update that I let it go for a day and a half, and it never finished. And so there's really something wrong with there's something wrong with the operating system. There's got to be a problem. It's got to be troubleshot. But sometime you might want to get a little knowledge about what is the best way to fix Windows 10 updates that want to take 19, 20, 24. I mean, I had one running for 24 hours and it didn't work. I still just shut it down.
Mike.
Yes.
Is that what's that program that you told me about, the offline? Can't remember now.
WUS offline or WUA offline?
Does it do Windows 10?
I don't know. Windows Update Service Offline or something like that. I haven't used it in quite a while.
Yeah, when I do a new machine with Windows 7, that's how I do. If I refresh, that's what I use, and it does it. I mean, you don't need to worry about anything because it finishes everything and pretty quick. But it doesn't.
Put that on a link or something. You put that on a link or something?
But I don't know that it works for Windows 10. I think it's Windows 7 and 8.
I can find out.
But I'm sure.
By the way, I Googled. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I Googled the problem, and the first 5 hits I got, when I clicked on them, malware bytes blocked them. In other words, it was a suspicious website. So if you Google a problem like that, the first things that come up is something that malware bytes say are suspicious. I find that interesting.
Yeah, you see, Mike, here's the link, and it says that it'll do 7, 8.1, and then server 2.8 and all that, but not Windows 10.
Yeah, I don't see Windows 10. I haven't had any real problems with Windows 10. I'll tell you what, Gene, this might be part of what you're seeing. I've noticed that when it looks like Windows 10 has locked up, it's really just waiting for a reboot. And I've also noticed that it'll say ready to restart. Then you click restart. And when it comes back up again, you look at it, give it a few minutes, it's ready to restart again. It has some really funny queuing or caching of some of these updates. That what I would do after it has run, I mean, if you see a lot of hard drive activity and it really is showing Windows updates, I'd let it run for several hours because there's some really funky updates going on.
Mike, I let this thing run for a day and a half, and it didn't.
I would never go. It's never going to take that long. It will never take that long to get it done.
That's right. So I finally just you can't. The only thing you can do is turn the power off. There's nothing.
That's
else
okay.
You can do.
That's okay because you don't have any choice at that point. But what I would do
that's right.
is anytime after say 4 hours, that would be my personal limit right now. I'm going to unplug it or restart it or hold the power button for 5 seconds and hope that it comes back up. And if it does, then as soon as it comes back up and really gets to the desktop and the hard drive stops running as much, I'm immediately going to reboot it probably 2 or 3 more times because somehow it gets hung up on where the reboots need to be. That's what I run into. I had a situation again this week with some people that I help with their computers on Windows 10. She sends me an email. She says, Mike, this computer is so slow. It took me 2 minutes to get Outlook up to be able to send you an email. And it turns out, again, it was Windows 10 updates. And I said, let me tell you what you need to do. They're not very technical, that's why I help them. But I said, what you need to do is at least once or twice a week before you go home, restart the computer. Just reboot it because they don't normally reboot them. They don't turn them off at night. Just reboot it. And that way, if it's going to take 2 or 3 hours to update, it'll be while you're at home instead of while you're trying to work.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And like I say, it still remains to be seen. I'm going to do some troubleshooting on Windows 10 too, just to make sure there's nothing in there that's causing the problem. I told Abnon, one of the things, when it got hung up long like that, and then I knocked the power down when I finally got tired of waiting, and I brought it back up, and the system came back up, and Windows came back up, and I could go to Outlook, and do my email and all that. But guess what? My 2 printers that were attached with USB cables were unattached. I tried to print something and I wasn't connected. I had to go
Not
back and
surprising.
connect my printers again.
I
So
believe
Windows
anything.
10, I know it's crazy. I mean, crazy things happen. Unbelievable. Okay, guys.
All right. Thanks for calling in,
Enjoy
Gene.
the show. Right on. Take care.
Take care.
Before I forget about
Bye-bye.
it, my daughter lives with us, and the way our house is laid out, we've got printers, and it's a pretty big house. So you have to walk a long distance to get stuff, and you have to go through my office to get to my color printer, and one thing leads to the next. So I said, what the heck? I went over to Staples and got a Brother HL, I believe it's a 2730, which is a wireless and network printer, Ethernet printer. Installed it in her room, connected it to the wireless network manually, then was able to find the printer on the network with her computer. It pretty seamlessly installed. I didn't read the manual or anything to go through and download and install all of the software that's supposed to automate the process, because that tends to leave junk around. But I did it manually and figured it out. I did have to download the drivers from the website, because they were not, I may have found it through Windows Update, but it didn't find it on its own. But once I found the drivers and installed it, it's interesting, because this is the newest printer that I purchased. And what I find is that this is the first printer on my network that, whenever on my iPhone, if I want to tell something to print, which I've never done before, you hit print, and then it surveys the network to see which printers are Apple friendly. This one is. I was able to print a page to the laser printer from my phone.
AirPrint, very cool.
AirPrint, yep.
Yeah, it's nice that the newer brothers all have it built in.
I'm very impressed with. I don't know what it's going to cost to operate this printer, but so far it was $169.99, something like that. I don't know, but I thought it was very good for a monochrome laser printer. And I did not. It's $189. I did not get the one with the scanner and all that. I've never had that stuff work well with wireless, but I do believe that these things have improved in terms of connectivity and other things. I do believe that these are now good pieces of equipment.
I would agree with you on the scanning thing. Excuse me. We've got 2 wireless HPs at the office, and you can print to them fine. You can't scan from them though. It's the stupidest thing in the
Something
world.
about it that just doesn't work right.
It doesn't make any sense.
I have my brother's printer scanner on the network, and it's flaky when I try to do that. I just use the best way for me to use it is through the good old USB connector to the machine that I use all the time. And I scan on that constantly. So that's how I scan receipts, and I use it every day.
Oh, and by the way, with AirPrint, if you have a printer that does not have network and you use cups as a printer server, that supports AirPrint by default. You don't even have to configure it. So that's pretty convenient.
Okay, and I want to retract what I said before about WS whatever.
Yeah,
it does support Windows 10.
there you go.
Yeah, if you guys click on the link that Mike posted and go to documentation, the first image right there shows Windows 10. It's when we were reading Windows 7, Windows 8.1, and that's the changed log. They don't show what, but on the documentation it shows you that it does all of them. So it does work. So if Gene, if you download that program and just install it and follow the instructions, which is really simple, it will do the update a lot faster.
Okay, but Amnon, I would disagree with you one little bit. If you can get Windows 10 to work natively,
oh yeah,
stick to that first.
Right. Oh yes, absolutely.
If you run into problems with Windows Update, then go to this
Agreed.
one.
Agreed. Yep.
But I'm telling you, and anybody who would test this out and prove or disprove my experience, that's great. But I'm just telling you that I'm learning with Windows 10. If you leave your computer running all the time, you need to reboot it 3 or 4 times a week, just so that these updates can install. And sometimes you need to reboot it 3 or 4 times in a row.
And the problem, if you don't do it, is because sooner or later you're going to get into a problem where you can't turn off the computer or something because of hardware problem, and you turn it, you said, shut down or whatever. It will start doing the updates at the most inopportune time where you really need to do something and you can't, or you install a program and it says we need to reboot, and you say, okay, go ahead. Oh no, we're now installing updates, don't turn off your computer.
And it can take a while.
Yeah. So do it like Mike says, do it when you don't really need the computer. Just reboot. Absolutely.
I have one more thing before we close out, since we've got so many podcasters listening to the show.
Podcast.
And Nick was out screwing off last night instead of in on the Hangout where we did all this, so he's not up to speed on what we did last night. But Merle, who is often here, Merle's really weird, and we love him to death. I'm teasing him, but Merle has a nice Behringer mixer, computers, microphone processors. I mean, he's got a whole nice semi-pro setup for podcasting. He's a frequent pod fader, and he just had a good setup, but somehow he gets it in his mind that he has to downsize, that his equipment is taking up too much room. He wants to really compartmentalize things to be much smaller. And somehow in the discussion, I said, have you tried Voicemeeter? VoiceMeeter. And he said, yeah, I looked at it a long time ago, just like I have. I haven't looked at it in a long time. Well, I didn't think much about it. Well, then last night he comes back in. He said, Mike, you need to see what I'm doing here. Okay. And so we logged in and doing a screen share. Well, there's a different Voicemeeter that I didn't know about called Voicemeeter Banana. And if you go to voicemeeter.com, one of the selections on the tabs is Voicemeeter Banana.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did last night, Merle had a lot of it configured wrong, but once I understood how the software works and how it's laid out, we have it configured now so that his microphone is on channel 1. The channel 2 is his iPad for playing music. Channel 3 is the computer for playing back things from his computer. Channel 4 is a virtual channel with a virtual driver that connects directly to Google Hangout. The 5th channel, which is also a virtual channel, is his Skype channel. And he has individual mix minuses to Google Hangout and to Skype, all in Voicemeeter, all on one computer, all free.
I mean, yeah, I guess, well, so I've been using this for quite a while. This actually runs, this is the software I actually use to run the WFBT live stream. So
You're using Voicemeeter for the live stream?
Yeah, because it allows me to pull in, it's got something it's called VWAN or VBAN or something like that. It allows you to pull in network streams.
Yep.
So I'm pulling in our STL stream and through Voicemeeter, and then shooting it over to Stereo Tools using, because the Voicemeter is made by the people that make virtual audio cables, the free virtual audio cables.
Are you sure?
Yes, positive. It's made by the people that make the free there is paid virtual audio cables. That one's garbage. They make the open source.
That guy's in Russia.
Yeah, this is the virtual audio cables I use. And it's because they make virtual audio cables, Voicemeter, I think, comes with it by default. So it allows you to do virtual audio cables. So that's what I'm using it for the live stream. Yeah, it's great.
I'm telling you, if you could live with a headset microphone, you know what I'm talking about? Something like we used to use.
Yeah, and even a nicer. You get one of those nice Sennheiser sports ones. So like $400 or $500. They sound great.
You could absolutely have a full podcasting remote broadcast studio on a laptop computer.
Emron, can you let's see. I'll share my screen.
Can I what?
It's audio only.
Here, hold on.
Oh, you want me? Oh no, I can't.
I can do it. Hold on. Mike, can you explain this image?
What am I looking at? Oh.
You click on my picture in the Hangout, Amnon, so Mike
Yes,
can talk
I
over
did.
this. Yeah. So this is kind of what it's showing.
All right. What is it you want? What are you asking me?
Well, so this is the similar setup. So you can see here it's got some of the virtual inputs, and you can see how you can assign different things automatically and stuff. This is kind of a workflow for.
All right. This is only part of the screen. This is channels 1 through 3 are missing here.
Correct. Which
So
are hardware.
What you're seeing here in this is where it says virtual inputs. And the way this works is that when you install this, it installs what are called virtual drivers. In Skype, for example, when you, let's assume that on where it says fader gain, the first one on the left, 5.6, we want that to be a Skype channel. You go into Skype and select the voice meter driver, and that automatically connects Skype digitally inside the computer to this mixer, as if you had taken a cable out of another computer and run it into a sound card. That's why it's called virtual input, because it happens all within the computer digitally. Once you do that, then the way this works, and if you're interested in this, it'll be curious, I guess, but and you look at that channel, you'll see A1, A2, A3, B1, B2. And what those are is the A1, A2, A3. Those are what are called real outputs. So if you have 3 sound cards, you could then pick A1 to go to sound card 1, A2 to go to sound card 2, A3 to go to sound card 3. The way Merle has that set up is A1 goes to his sound card that goes to his speakers. So what he did to be able to hear what he's doing is on all of his channels, he has A1 pressed except his microphone, so that when he talks into his microphone, it does not come out of his speakers and create feedback or an echo. All right. The second channel, A2, that's where he has a digital recorder plugged into a second sound card. That's his main output. He has A2 pressed on every channel, so whatever he pots up goes out over A2 to whatever the external recorder device is. A3 is a third sound card he's not using. He doesn't have any reason to do that. But here's what's so interesting about it. B1 and B2, those are the virtual buses. You have those assigned on the one on the left, B1. That one is assigned, B1 input is assigned to Skype. B2 is assigned to Google Hangouts. What that means is if the left channel is Skype, then B1 is not pressed. So Skype is not feeding back to Skype. And on the second channel, B2 is not pressed so that Google Hangouts don't feed back to Google Hangouts. And that's where you create your mix minus. It's that simple. And I went through that fast. If you don't follow it, I get it. But even then, if you look in the upper right corner, you see where that cassette is. The software even will record your podcast for you.
Mm-hmm. And you can select what bus you're recording with that built-in recorder too, which is cool.
All right. The other channels which are not showing even have gate and compression on each of the channels. We played with the gate on the microphone. I could not hear it working. I did not have headphones on. A lot of the problem with a lot of these gates is they have clicks and pops in them. But from what I could tell, the gate seemed to work fairly well to help keep the noise down. Also, there are some background settings in these things. Sorry. There's just way too much to go into now, but if this is something you're looking for, that's just amazing.
And it's free.
Yep.
They want you to make a donation.
Yes, but I mean, it's not something that you would pay, hundreds of dollars for, whatever. It's free.
Correct.
It's if it's between you and your conscience, and if you're going to use it for that, then yes, you should pay for it. You should send them something.
But I'm going to install this on my system and play with it. It's just amazing. And you see here, it has the ASIO drivers. It also has the WDM. It also has the MME direct. It has all this stuff in it. It's very powerful. There's a lot under the hood that doesn't show just by looking at the face.
Yeah. And the other thing and it's funny because the reason this was actually developed originally is I used a very, very, very early version of this years ago. It was originally built for gaming to control. You got to remember, it's hard for me to remember this from time to time, but most people don't have mixers to control their audio. Everything is just coming out of a headset or whatever. So this was the early versions of this software. I don't remember what it was called. Was built for gaming so that you can control the level of the game and TeamSpeak chat and have those independently controlled without screwing around with the Windows volume mixer. So that's what this was originally built for, and it is clearly now advanced into what appears to be something like a Personas or even a Behringer X32 for nothing, for completely for free, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was totally blown away. Yeah, Scammer One is bringing some interesting news to the party. You can't
Okay.
run more than one sound card in Windows.
Yeah.
Oh, so man, I better go right over to the tower and
disconnect
fix
all
that.
5 of mine, hadn't I?
Better drive over to the radio station, fix that. That's gonna be a real problem. I have plenty of sound cards.
It's okay.
Damn.
I before we close, I've got one very interesting. I mean, this one I just captured the headline of the article. I didn't need to read the rest of it, and I want you to see. And I want you to see it. The bold.
Oh, perfect.
Best antivirus for iPhone in 2018.
I said,
excellent.
Wow, now they have articles about that. Very interesting.
What we like to call clickbait.
Well, I mean, no, it's we've been saying it for a long time. I mean, you guys really, those with iPhones and those with iPads and Macs, you really need to worry about it. And it's said there that it's not the same antivirus and stuff and malware that Windows or Android are getting, but there are strains that can affect iPhones really bad. So you really need to look into it. But anyway, and Mike,
yes,
before when Nick was saying, can you turn up Gene a little bit because we can't hear him? So I raised the fader, and it was almost all the way to the top. I said, no, I'm going to raise the gain at the top and lower the fader. The minute I raised the gain at the top of the channel, speaker came on and everything is back to normal.
You've got what? You
I
have
don't
that same
understand.
mixer I have, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing. I mean, it's literally falling apart.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just this supposed to just control that particular channel, and everything is back to normal.
What does a Behringer mean in German, Mike? You told me a couple times.
Yeah, piece of.
we need to get him a Wheatstone.
Yeah,
you can call your friend over.
No, it's fine. I think probably what I need to do at this point is reboot it, but it's going to lose everything when I turn it off and on, and keep using it. If it happens again like that, I'm just going to use the other one that I have, the older one.
Yeah, and these things are just consumer boards, and mine's
absolutely.
Got a couple of channels that are a little fuzzy, a little hairy.
It's ridiculous. But you see, this did not just change that particular channel; it changed the whole behavior of the mixer. Everything is back. It fixed the mixer. It fixed my audio problem. I thought it was cables going into the headphone amplifier and all that. Suddenly, everything is working.
Joe, why would I want to call you Mike?
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, it's time to get out.
Okay, all Joe, right. You're Mike.
Anything?
I'm also Mike.
Anything else?
Gary, you can call me after the show, Gary.
Anything?
I'm gonna call you as well, Mike. I'd like to talk to you.
I'm sorry, I don't talk to anybody. I don't have friends anymore.
Sorry, I'm not iPad.
It's okay. Anything else anybody wants to add here?
Get a Mac.
Have a good week,
Spence.
I want to add 2 + 3 = 5.
Okay.
Like to add a cherry.
All right. So thanks, guys. This was great. Thanks, Mike, Nick, Spence, and everybody in the chat. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for tuning to Computers 2K Now, and we hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And please, while you're at it, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Nick, you're doing a show tonight, right?
Yes, sir. From our
So
brand new studios, we'll be live.
Tonight at 7, Nick is hosting Against the Norm on Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7. And you can listen on TuneIn. Bye, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.